Assalamualaikum and hello everyone. My name is Afdal Shahizad and I will begin our presentation with an overview of the journal that we selected. Consumer Decision Making Style of Gen Z, a Generational Cohort Analysis. So this article focuses on how Gen Z makes shopping decisions and what makes their behavior different from older generations. Today, Gen Z is becoming one of the most important consumer groups, especially because they are highly active on digital platforms, exposed to the fast information, and strongly influenced by technology and social media. So, understanding how they think and decide is very useful for marketers and brands today. In terms of background, previous studies most focus on baby boomers, Gen X, and Gen Y. However, there is limited empirical research that explains how Gen Z actually makes decisions when buying products and services. This group is unique because their choices are shaped by the constant online exposure, peer influence, and lifestyle value, which may not match their behavior of previous generations. This is why this study was done, to fill the research gap. Gen Z matters because they don't decide in traditional way. Their thinking and emotions are different. They care about value and quality. They search and compare information before buying, and this insight can help marketers create more effective strategies. If brands understand their style, they can create better message, content, and marketing plans. However, there are a few research problems identified. First, there are very few studies that use real data to test Gen Z decision-making styles. Second, the Consumer Style Inventory or CSI, which is normally used to measure consumer decision behavior, has not been fully validated by Gen Z. So this study used exploratory factor analysis, a K-Means clustering, to measure a group their decision-making style accurately. Lastly, the study has four key objectives: to identify Gen Z decision-making style dimensions, to segment them into clusters, to compare Gen Z with older generations, and to explain the marketing implications for better targeting and strategy. That's all for my part. Next, I pass to Sarmila.
This study is authored by three distinguished scholars from the Indian Institute of Technology, Dhanbad. Firstly, start with Dr. Pakiraj Thangavel brings deep expertise in digital marketing, followed by Dr. Paramod Pata contributes a strong foundation in marketing ethics, and Dr. Bibas Chandra, with his strength in retail marketing, adds an understanding of how consumers behave across different market settings. Together, this expertise creates a powerful lens for analyzing how Generation Z makes purchasing decisions in today's digital landscape. The study was published in 2019, a period marked by the rise of Generation Z as an influential consumer group in the post-millennial era. It appeared in the Global Business Review, a peer-reviewed journal published by SAGE Publication. It integrates four key areas. Firstly, the marketing, which examines strategies for effectively reaching the consumers. Second, consumer behavior, which provides insights into how buyer makes decisions. Third is the generational study on exploring how cohorts like Generation Z shape emerging market trends. And lastly, the e-commerce part is on focusing digital innovations and online consumption patterns. Methodologically, this is an empirical quantitative study by using surveys and cluster analysis to identify distinct consumer segments within Generation Z. The study set in India and focuses specifically on Generation Z consumers. Let's dive into potential motivational gap that leads to research on Gen Z only. First, millennials have already been studied extensively in the past. Meanwhile, the baby boomers are not a primary participant in digital online shopping. This shows they are not a fit. In contrast, Generation Z grew up immersed in the internet, smartphone, and social media, which giving them the unique decision-making styles that differ significantly from older generations. The study therefore aims to, first, understand how Generation Z makes online shopping decisions, second, identify the distinct segments of Gen Z consumers based on their shopping behavior, and third, analyze the key traits such as price sensitivity, brand preference, and the convenience in their decision making. By addressing these gaps, the research provides insights that are highly relevant for marketers targeting this emerging digital native generation.
I will summarize the literature review and the theoretical background. The Gen Z, born between 1995 and 2010, is becoming one of the largest global consumer segment. Most of the previous study focusing on the Millennium and Gen X. This create a clear research gap. To understand how Gen Z behave in an online shopping environment, the author reviewed two main theory and existing study. The generation cohort theory argued that people born in the same era share similar experience that shape their value and behavior. Gen Z grew up with the internet, smartphone, and social media from the childhood. Because of this shared experience, the Gen Z tend to have highly connected, information-rich, and global aware. Prior research also showed that this generation is less brand loyal, more value-focused, and heavily influenced by the online community review. Second theory is the shopping orientation proposed by the Spotless and Candor, and this is about each person has a stable shopping personality. And from the past study, they use this to apply in the millennium and earlier generation behave in both offline and online retail. And this study framework now is applied into the Gen Z whether to check they are follow similarity or new pattern. To understand the Gen Z behavior, the study retained 9 key factors to highlight the consumer behavior for these generations. First is the value focus, encompassing both quality consciousness and the price consciousness. Previously noted that the Gen Z make purchase decision based on the best price and the best deal. Second, and the brand perception is measured by the brand loyalty and the brand consciousness, as the study showed that the Gen Z is valued the quality rather than the names. Third is a digital experience whereby captured by the convenient consciousness. Their preference is to save time and efforts by shopping online. And finally, we're looking into the external pressure, like the influence of the reference social desirable shopping tendency and the challenge of confused by overchoice. Based on the literature, the author identified 3 key expectations about Gen Z. First, they're likely to show low brand loyalty, and second, they are strong emphasis on the price and value. Third, they may feel overwhelming by the abundance of choice from the online. In summary, the literature suggests that the Gen Z behave differently from the previous generations, making it essential to examine their shopping orientation empirically.
Now I'll present the research methodology and data analysis part. This research follows an explanatory quantitative design. The target population consists of Gen Z online shoppers coming from 3 groups: high school students, college students, and young working adults. Data were collected using convenient sampling method from 244 respondents. For demographic characteristics, 56.5% respondents were male, with the majority aged between 16 to 19 years old. Most of them come from middle-income families. Nearly 2/3 shop online for more than 19 times a year, spending on average around 18,000 Indian rupees annually. So these characteristics suggest that the sample represents the digitally active young consumers, which fits the profile for Gen Z very well. For data collection, self-administrated questionnaire consisting of psychographic and demographic question was used. Likert type scale was used to measure the agreement levels, and the questionnaire was distributed physically to respondents. So a pilot test was conducted among the scholars and professionals. Unclear or overlapping items were revised. Each participant also received a 20 rupee pen as an appreciation. So these are the details of the psychographic and demographic questions I mentioned. The psychographic part explained by Alvin just now. Demographic are such as gender, age, education level, income, internet usage experience, online spending frequency. Before analyzing the data, researchers checked whether it was suitable for factor analysis. Results for Kaysen, Mayer, Auckland, and Butler's test of sparsity were significant. This means that the data has strong correlations and were appropriate for explanatory factor analysis. Using principal factor analysis with Promax rotation, the researchers extracted 9 valid factors, which altogether explain about 63.4% of the total variance. Cronbridge alpha shows that all constructs had good internal reliability. Next, K-Means cluster analysis was used to segment Gen Z consumers based on the 9 factors. Lastly, a chi-square test was conducted to see if there were any relationships between the clusters and the demographic factors. So the result for these 2 tests will be explained in the following slides.
The table shows that Gen Z shouldn't be treated as one single group. Based on the findings from the cluster analysis, the 9 shopping orientations revealed clear differences within the generation. Some prioritize quality, others focus on price, convenience, or brand factor. These differences resulted in 4 distinct segments with very different shopping motivations and behavior. In contrast, variables, family income, and years of internet usage differ significantly across segments. In contrast, variables such as gender, age, current status, and online spending behavior are not significant. This suggests that Gen Z's shopping behavior is shaped more by their experiences and economic background rather than by basic demographics or spending habits. For good quality at fair prices, segments, about a quarter are economic quality seekers that look for good quality at fair prices. Around 14% are convenience shoppers. They value speed and flexible delivery. The 2 largest groups, each about 30%, are deal hunting convenience seekers who respond to discounts but also value convenience, and brand and quality conscious shoppers who trust established brands and care less about price. Each group behaves differently, so strategies need to be tailored accordingly. Carefully compare products, particularly economic quality seekers and deal hunters who carefully compare products. Marketers should emphasize quality and competitive pricing. Convenience drive purchases for convenience shoppers and deal hunting convenience seekers, so fast delivery, easy returns, and smooth checkout are crucial. Brand loyalty is declining, especially among economic quality seekers and convenience shoppers, making short-term incentives like discounts and limited time offers more effective than long-term loyalty programs. And brand-conscious shoppers who rely on influence matter most for deal hunters, and brand-conscious shoppers who rely on reviews, influencers, and peer recommendations. Highlighting testimonials and boosting social media engagement can strongly impact their decisions. Gen Z also expects customized strategies across all segments, valuing authenticity, convenience, and clear value. Marketers should address each segment's needs while aligning with their digital-first mindset.
With the next slide, which is the brand application. TikTok Shop. Why TikTok? The answer is simple: audience and action. Before we look at the features, it's crucial to understand who is the Gen Z shopper is. First, let's look at the reach. We're targeting Gen Z, and 35.6% of TikTok users in Malaysia are already in the 19 to 25 years old age. They are already there and they are deeply engaged. How deep it is? On average, Malaysians are spending nearly 29 hours per month on the platform. This is critical. It's not just a passive viewing, this is a high discovery engagement. Now let's look at the shopping intent. The platform isn't just entertainment anymore. TikTok Shop record 100 million product search daily in Malaysia. Finally, the impact is undeniable. According to government report, TikTok Shop GMV in Malaysia hit a staggering USD 2.7 billion in 2024. This number is not just a statistic. It's proof of massive scale, strong market traction, and most importantly, powerful Gen Z adoption of the social commerce. TikTok isn't just a trend, it's a current e-commerce reality. How TikTok reflects Gen Z shopping style. So now let's connect the dot. We know Gen Z has 4 distinct shopping styles. The power of TikTok Shop lies in how seamlessly it's catered to all of them. First, economic quality seekers. Second, the deal hunting convenience seeker. Third, the convenience shoppers. And last but not least, the brand quality concise. To wrap up, the evidence is clear that Gen Z online behavior is defined by the high expectation for the value and efficiency. They are not loyal to the brand, but to the platform that offers the superior experience. The key strategic keyway is study finding. The Gen Z is not one consumer, but 4 distinct heterogeneous segments. Success is no longer about mass marketing, it's about deploying differentiated positioning and personalize the strategies that speak to the specific need of the economic quality seeker, the deal hunter, and the others. This is the new imperative for the e-retailer. Thank you.